Hello and welcome back to What Steven Reads. My name is Steven. So this video is all about, we can call it a TBR if you want to. I know I said I don't want to do TBR videos for each month, but there are books I want to read, definite reads that have been on my list for a while, and I buy them, I put them on the shelf, and I never get around to them. Occasionally I do, but more often than not I don't, because something new comes out or there's a sequel to something I want to read, and I tend to get to those first. So what I wanted to do was collect all the books that I really want to get to, and I'm calling that my priority list of reading. And I'm going to pull them all out, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with that list and stack of books after that. So let's go pick out some books. I'm going to put them on the table in front of me. You probably can't see it, it's too low, it's below the camera, but let's put them over here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Alright, so these are all of the books I want to be in my priority list of books to read. Obviously, I want to get to everything that's on here. You know, I have the Matt Dinniman Dungeon Crawler Carl series, Three Body Problem. There's some V.E. Schwab I want to get to, The Will of the Many. But there are some books that are just worth reading. I don't want to say these are worth less to read, but these are books that have stood the test of time. They're classics in their own right. They have notoriety, books that might be life-changing or impact you in some sort of way. And they just made it to my personal list of, I'd rather get to this than get to those first. It's just that you put them off. So here's the list. So I have Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. I want to give Kurt Vonnegut another try. Must be a reason why he's a renowned classic author, postmodernist. So I got Slaughterhouse-Five. Then we have the dystopian Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. And all these books I'm going to list out in the description of this video if you want to check them out and further description of them and see if you're interested. Small Rain by Garth Greenwell. I picked this up when it first came out, and I just saw a couple of people talking about it, and I'm just eager to get to it. If I take it off the list, it means I'm going to read it next month, because I've been thinking about this book a little bit more. Forever by Pete Hamill. This is actually Peter's book, and it got added into my library when we moved in together. And I'd mentioned The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue to him, and how she lives, she got eternal life. And he was mentioning how this person lived for centuries, and it sounded interesting to me, and I've heard good things about it. Susanna Clarke Piranesi was something I was interested in reading. I'm sure you've all heard of that. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I had bought Vicious and Vengeful, and I never got to it. It's one of the first books that I had bought after I had read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and a friend of mine told me how good this series is, and I just never got to it. So I think it's time to put it on a list, and when it comes up, you'll see what I'm doing. I will get to this book. Walter Mower's The City of Dreaming Books. This is one of the first books I bought when I started really just doing personal book hauls in Barnes & Noble and Amazon, and one of the workers in Barnes & Noble recommended this. They said it was a really nice fantasy. Not in the fantasy section though, just in general fiction in case you're looking for it. Then I bought recently, I showed you The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Cormac McCarthy, The Road. Frankenstein. I just think it's a book that I should read. It's a classic. A more recent pickup, Monstrilio, a literary fiction horror novel by Gerardo Samano Cordova. Then we have John Steinbeck's East of Eden. I mentioned before, I love John Steinbeck's writing, and I like to get to his bigger novels, and this is pretty big. Recent pickup, Jack Kerouac, On the Road, because I was reading Big Sur, and it was a little bit intimidating to me, and I heard this was better. I think this was his debut novel, and his just continuous writing. You can see how the writing is pretty heavy, and I would just love the opportunity to pick from the list and just force myself to read this. And if I don't like them, I'm not going to finish them. I'll definitely DNF them. And I really want to read something by Thomas Pynchon. And this is a shorter novel of his, Crying of Lot 49. Gravity's Rainbow is a super intense, thick novel by him. And I just don't think I'm ready for that. I've heard it's pretty in-depth. So let's start with something small. Truman Capote's Breakfast at Tiffany. I do like Truman Capote, and I did love this movie. I hope the novel is better. And so that's on the list. If We Were Villains. This is on the list because just heard great things about it. It's dark academia. I believe it's a little bit thriller, some mystery to it, and it's just something I was interested. I bought it probably like a year ago. Never got around to it. The Fuck Up by Arthur Nersessian. I brought this to Montreal. I just didn't get to it. This is on the list because I bought it back when it first came out, I guess in a paperback form. And let's see. Copyright 1991, and then I guess the paperback came out in 1997. So this has been on my bookshelf for years, and I never got to it. I think it's time. Don DeLillo, White Noise. The Savage Detectives by Robert Bolaño. 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This is, I've heard, a fantastic book. Maybe the beginning of magical realism. It's a series on Netflix, which I have not watched. It's something I've wanted to get to for a long time. And I did order the non-Oprah emblemed copy of the book. And then we have The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck, because I got 2 Steinbecks in here. That's fine. This is a thick book. Maybe I would hold off and put this with another big book series when I finish The Stand by Stephen King. And then this little stack over here, these are books that I bought more recently, and they're going to be in a book haul video, so I'm not going to just talk about them too much, but Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. I've heard about this. I'm sure you've all heard about it. It was out 2 years ago, I think, and my friend Chrissy said she read it and she thought it was fantastic. It was so good. Finally bought it recently, and I want to add that to the list. William H. Gass, Omen Setter's Luck. And then The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Dumas? Another thick book, and people have been talking about it more recently, and it's something I'm interested in getting to. But again, this might be added to another big book video instead of putting it on this priority list. And then we have End of Eternity by Isaac Asimov, science fiction novel. So those are the books that are going to be on my list, and now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that list, because I think it'll make it a little bit more fun, sort of like a TBR game, if you will. So I'll be right back with what I'm going to do with these books. Look at all of these beautiful stacks of books. I love looking at it like this. I kind of wish my library looked like this. So, okay, so here are all the books I picked. I did add one more, Spider by Patrick McGrath, which I used to own. I have a few Patrick McGrath books. Spider's missing. I don't know where it is. I don't think I've ever lent a book to anybody, because most of my friends over the years do not read, and I don't know what happened to it. It's the same cover as the one I had, but I'm going to tell you, I smelled it. This has no smell. So this is one, I believe this came off one of those print to order systems, because this paper does not smell. It's so weird. And I have the other Patrick McGrath novels, and they do smell. So now, what am I going to do with the stack of books? I have some tissue paper, and I have red and white, because that's just what I happen to have in the house. And I'm going to write the titles of all these books on tissue paper. And I'm going to talk while I'm writing this. This could be a really long video, or if I edit out a lot of stuff, I think that'll probably be good. So let's just grab some tissue paper. And I know I have more downstairs in case I run out. But I'm just going to randomly rip it, because I don't need these to be even. I hope this is okay when I'm editing, because my computer is now probably like 9 years old, and the hard drive space is running out. I think the memory's okay. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And I'm using Clipchamp right now. What are you guys using to edit videos if you have YouTube? I'm curious to know. Let me get some red. Okay. And I'll just cut up some more. Yeah, so what video are you using? I need to find something else. I'm using the free version of Clipchamp because I really don't... So, alright, so if I pay for Clipchamp, I could do 4K. And the problem is... what was the problem? The problem is... Oh, that the video files are too big and my computer just can't handle it. So I opted to stay with the free version and do 1080. So moving forward, if I get a new computer, then yeah, I will upgrade Clipchamp or use another program. Let me know what you're using to edit your videos. I would love to know. And what books do you have a priority to read? You want to call it a TBR? It doesn't matter. You know, I said I don't want to do monthly TBRs because I don't want to commit to reading 4 books or, you know, 6 books and then not get to them or my mood changes and I don't want to read it. The purpose of this list is books that I had bought that I really wanted to get to and just didn't. So I think this is a good opportunity to force myself, in a good way, to read these books. And I think it'll be a fun way to do it, which we will get to eventually. And I'm just going to write the names of the books. And I don't think there's a need to put the author, because none of these have the same title, and I know where they are on my shelves. But yeah, so Spider. Check out Patrick McGrath. He does gothic, he's considered gothic horror, if you're into that. I'm just going to throw him on my couch over there. I don't want to lose them. And if you know who comes in, I got to make sure he doesn't eat it. Thomas Pynchon. Have you guys read Thomas Pynchon? Have you read Gravity's Rainbow? I'd be interested to know. The first time I heard of Gravity's Rainbow was from Life on Books podcast, because those guys have read it and they love it. But it's a huge book and it's very intense, postmodernist. I'm not even sure what it's about. I looked into it, but I was like, I just can't read that right now. There's no way. And I picked up, I think I was in Vermont with our friends Christy and Alec, and was it Vermont? I think it was. I'm not sure. We went to a little independent bookstore, and I picked up Crying of Lot 49. Truman Capote. Have you guys read Truman Capote? I know I read, what's that book they make you read in high school? It's more like nonfiction about those 2 guys that were arrested for murder. I can't think of the name right now, but I don't remember if I liked it or not. That was in high school, and that's a pretty intense book for high school, I think. I don't know. But Breakfast at Tiffany, I love the movie. I thought it was so much fun. It was a cute story with Audrey Hepburn. Check that movie out. It was great. Loved it. Let's see. Yeah, Jack Kerouac, On the Road. Let's see what the hype was all about with Jack Kerouac on the road. And they say his writing style is very fluid. And let's see if that gets annoying or if I find it cool. It's basically about a road trip. Let's see. V.E. Schwab, Vicious. Get this out of the way. Yeah, so, you know, I really like The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I know the feelings on that book are mixed. I enjoyed it. As I've said before, it's one of the first books that I bought when I started reading. And after that, an acquaintance friend of mine, said you should read Vicious if you like that. I heard very different, though, than Addie LaRue. But I bought both of them. And because there's a sequel, Vengeful, never got to it. So it might be, you know, if it comes up with what I'm doing, I will get to it. Piranesi, I just heard it's fantastic. Susanna Clark, Forever book. Peter kept trying to get me to read this, and I just never got around to it. But I heard it was great. So we're going to definitely add that to the list. And, you know, it's like insight. Like, why did he like it so much? And I don't think he's read anything since, so that would be interesting to learn. And then The Fuck Up, which I had brought on vacation, just didn't get to it. This is on the list because it's been in my library for so many years, and let's just get it over with. I don't think anyone's ever heard of it. If you've read it, let me know. I'd like to know if it's good or not. And If We Were Villains, I'm having like second thoughts for having this in the list. I don't know if I'm that excited to get to it, and the whole point of this list is to be excited to get to these books. But people speak very highly of it, so if it comes up, I'll start it, and if I'm not enjoying it, I'll just DNF it. I'm not afraid to DNF books. A book I most recently DNF'd was it was called The Measure, which everyone gets a box with a ribbon in it, and the ribbon has a certain length to it, and that determines how long your life is going to be. And that sounded awesome, like a puzzle box kind of situation. Unfortunately, it wasn't for me. It wasn't going that route. It wasn't talking about where did they come from, let's figure this out. And I did not enjoy it, so I DNF'd it. And I don't feel bad because I really didn't like DNFing books. But I wasn't into it. And then I Googled, did they give you the answer where the boxes came from with these ribbons in it that tell you how long you're going to live? And it said, no, they never get to that. It was more of like a romance novel, but not the kind of romance I wanted to read. So, yeah, did not finish reading that book. A book I DNF'd last year was Sandwich. And I was reading it, actually listening to it, an audiobook, in the car, and I didn't like the writing. That one fell on the floor. I'm going to have to get that before Teddy comes in for it. And I said, I can't read this. The dialogue was, she said, he said, and then she said, said. It was getting so irritating. I said, I can't listen to this anymore. And if I was reading it, I don't know how much better that would have been. You know, I think there's new ways of doing dialogue without saying said, says, and the author of that book did not do that, and I just found it obnoxious, completely obnoxious, and I DNF'd it. Yeah, so, need some more paper. Oh, that's useless. Why is this one not ripping okay? Oh my god. Really? What is happening? The other ones rip so easily. This one's going all crazy. That's fine. And the other book that I DNF'd last year was the one about the science fiction book. Romance? Oh, The Ministry of Time. Another book that sounded really awesome to me. And it was it basically wound up, from what I heard, just being a romance novel. And I just it wasn't going anywhere for me. I didn't enjoy it, so I DNF'd that. And so have you guys checked out either of those books? Sandwich, The Measure, and the one I just mentioned. Yes, the Slaughterhouse-Five. I want to give Kurt Vonnegut another try because I wasn't super crazy about The Cat's Cradle. So I want to see what he's all about, and that book I think is more popular than the other one. So let's see. Got White Noise by DeLillo. It sounds cool to me. Oh, another one fell on the floor. So, with this channel, thank you for tuning in. You know, I'm still finding my way on here, learning, one, what I want to read, and two, you know, what do I want to do with it? Without reading, like, I want to read stuff that changes my life. You know, you hear people, they say, oh, that book changed my life. I think about things so differently. And I'm like, I want to find that book. What does that mean? You know, how can a book change your life? I want to experience that. That would be awesome. I need to make a stack before they fall over. So, yeah, I'm on the hunt for a book that will change my life and, I don't know, be enlightening or something like that. Because if people say that they've encountered that, I'm all for that. That'd be fun. 100 Years of Solitude. I'm curious to watch the Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. Could be HBO, I don't know. But I really would rather read it first. So that's the plan. My friend Chrissy, who said this book was great, she read every Agatha Christie book. I was like, really? I couldn't believe it. I read And Then There Were None in high school. And I liked it, and I like mysteries. I just never continued to read any of her books. Lessons in Chemistry, And then Grapes of Wrath. I really want to read more of John Steinbeck. Cannery Row was really cool. And I did read something by him in high school. I don't remember anything I read in high school except for like, what's the book? The movie. I sound like my mom. What's that book with that lady in it? The Great Gatsby. That I read in high school, but I remember that, you know. Let's see. East of Eden. I might put East of Eden with a big books thing. It's not that, but I don't know. We'll see. I can always add it in later. Monstrilio. Horror / literary fiction. Okay. Boom. I got Frankenstein. How cool is this cover? I bought this upstate somewhere in a bookstore. I'd never seen it in my Barnes & Noble, but now I do. Now I see it. I should probably also add Dracula to this list, which I could later add it. That's not a problem. Cormac McCarthy, The Road. Yeah, this channel, it takes off great. If only a few people watch me, that's great too. I'm enjoying doing it. I will admit, I do get a little bit anxious making the videos. Everything makes me anxious. That's just how I am, unfortunately. I have to live with that, but it's okay. I'm trying to manage it. But yeah, so the channel is a way for me to do something creative. I haven't drawn in a long time, and right now I'm loving doing this. As far as the vlogs go, I don't know if I'm going to continue to do that. Those videos do not as well as the Wednesday, Thursday videos, and the vlogs are usually on a Saturday or Sunday. So I don't know, and just recording footage for vlogs is not easy. I applaud anyone who does vlogs. You're recording your whole entire life and then editing all these videos. That was pathetic. All these videos together. It's a lot. And I don't know how interesting they are. Not mine, not other people's. So, I don't know. We'll see if I'm going to continue doing that. And as far as the weekly videos, usually last minute, I think of something I want to do, like what this video is, and I get excited about it, and I can't wait to make the video. I was going to do this video on a Tuesday. It's actually Sunday, and I'm doing it now, because I want to make sure that it gets edited properly, especially with my issues with the computer, and, hopefully I could punch that out. Alright, so I've written all the book's titles on tissue paper, and now we will cut to what I'm doing with that. See you in a couple of seconds. Okay, so now I'm taking up all of the crumpled pieces of paper and I'm putting them in these little spheres. I hope they stay. And let's see, they should fasten pretty easily. I'm assuming, yes, they do. All right, so we're gonna put these all in here. Okay, so yeah, back to the channel. I'm enjoying doing it. And if it takes off, it takes off. If it doesn't take off, okay, that's fine. What's the goal for people who have YouTube channels? It's to make lots of money and work from home and do something you enjoy. And I get that doesn't happen to everybody, so, I don't think that's going to happen with this channel. But all the same, it's fun to do, and I get to talk about books. And, I'm learning. And I want to become more articulate with my discussion of books. I feel like, I've been in a job for 17 years where I don't really use any intelligence except for figuring out some, how do I say, errors with billing or something like that. And I'm really good with computers. I've always been good with computers. And I'm good at figuring out stuff really quickly. One of my skills on my resume used to be that I could learn any computer program in a couple of days. Now that I'm older, I don't know if that's true anymore. I learned Clipchamp pretty fast. It's not very complicated, but I'm talking about like AutoCAD. I could not use AutoCAD for 5 years or whatever. And get back into it really quickly with the shortcuts, the shortcut keys and all that stuff. And, that's my strong skill, is learning computer programs really fast, no matter how technical they are. And, you know, I don't use any of those skills where I work. My skills are, you know, really muted to, well, I don't want to get into the details about it, but not very interesting. Let's just say that. Not very engaging mentally. So I often joke around and call the past 17 years the dumbing of Stephen. You know, the lack of creativity, the lack of brain usage. So yeah, I do want to become more articulate and more descriptive of how I feel about books with my vocabulary usage. I know I say the word interesting a lot, and I liked it. So I would love to talk more about characters and conflict. And, you know, there's also the issue of me just getting nervous, anxious when the camera turns on, and I just forget things on the fly. I don't know, you know, if that's a camera thing or it's as if, like, my subconscious thinks I'm talking directly to someone in the room about them. I don't know. Like, the word dystopian, you know, there's going to be an edit in here where I was talking about one of the dystopian books, the Aldous Huxley book, Brave New World. You're going to see a cut there. Well, you already saw it because now we're doing this part of the video. Could not think of the word dystopian. And it's frustrating. You know, I don't know what that is. Like, how could I forget that word? You know? Or I'll forget the name of an author or a title of a book. And, yeah, I just think it's anxiousness. But, yeah, what can I say? That's just how I am. But, yeah, I would like to be more articulate talking about books and just sound, you know, more educated, which I am educated. It's just that, you know, if, you know, when you don't use your brain, you start to go a little bit numb, you know. I guess I should have opened this earlier, which I did not. I hope I have enough. I think it should be enough. I mean, that's an Amazon. I'm trying not to use Amazon as much, but honestly, where would I get these in a local store? I have no idea. So, Amazon, yay. Let's just get them all out of the bag. It's just easier. And then, you know, how many books did I say I had here? I don't remember. And I think I took out, yeah, I took out East of Eden. Because we already have a John Steinbeck book, The Grapes of Wrath. I guess I could put it in, and then if two Steinbecks come up in a row, I could always say, no, that's it, let's just skip it. But the whole point of this is whatever book I pick, then I'm going to commit myself to it, to read it. And don't forget, I'm also reading The Stand right now, which is huge. So, I'm really excited because The Stand is, it's huge, okay? And it's not exactly easy to bring around with me. And what I did was, stuff I've been ordering from Amazon, you get those digital coupons or credits, whatever they call them. So I wound up having stuff delivered on certain days where they say, you know, have it delivered on this day and get a digital reward. And I did that a couple of times. So I think I wound up paying $4 for a Kindle copy of The Stand. So I'll be able to bring that to work with me. Or if Peter and I take another road trip, which I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. We already did our trip to Montreal. But yeah, it's much easier to bring a Kindle with me to work to read The Stand. And I can just have it anywhere with me. I can leave it in the car. I go to the coffee shop instead of lugging around that big honker, you know? And I think that's a good idea. That's a good thing. So, just rewatched the Martha Stewart documentary, and I liked it. Peter loved it. I'm not up for watching documentaries a second time, but he really loved it, and he was watching it again. And I think that's what she used to say. It's a good thing, or that's a good thing. I don't know. But yeah, I think people get intimidated by powerful women, and you know, when that whole thing happened before the whole scandal, oh, she's not nice or whatever. It's like, you know, if a man said that, nobody would make a comment, but because it was her, she became so powerful with omnimedia that's how, you know, people refer to her as being mean or she's not a good boss or whatever. Anyway, this is not Martha Stewart talk. We're talking about books. And I did buy her cookbook that came out, I think it was like anniversary of how many cookbooks she had out, and it was like different stuff collected from all of her previous books. And I made her chocolate chip cookies last year, and they came out really good. And I think they had salt sprinkled on top of them when they came out of the oven, but yeah, they were delicious. So I'm gonna knock these out of the bowl. Oh wow, I hope I have enough of these things. If not, I will use the ones that I have, and I will order more. I never expected to go through this many of them that fast. That's really interesting. No, wow, I ran out. I'm actually surprised. There's only a couple more, which is fine. I could do that off camera once I get another delivery of little clear spheres. Get this out of the way. All right, now let's go to the last part, which I'm most excited about. I'll see you in a couple of seconds. So, here is my priority tree, or my TBR tree. I was trying to come up with a name like, you know, there's that book, Priority of the Orange Tree, like Priority of the Orange Tree, or it just wasn't sounding good. But yeah, this is going to be my priority reads tree, and yeah, I'll probably call it a TBR tree, that's fine. I don't think I've seen anyone do anything like this on Booktube or Instagram, Bookstagram, whatever you want to call it. But this is what I decided to do, and I think it's really cool. And then maybe eventually I will paint these bowls. I don't know, we'll see. And I got little tiny hooks, and I'm gonna hang them all over in spots that won't collapse. So hopefully this works out pretty well. And I'm just gonna go opposite colors each time, and then just put them all over. So what I was thinking is, if I add new books to this, which, like I was saying, maybe I want to add Dracula to it, that, you know, I could write the tissue paper, and then I could ask Peter to hang it, and that way I won't know where it is, because I just won't remember. Even if I put it, I won't remember where the hell I put it. So we'll see. And I think this is going to be fun. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pick a book, and then after I pick a book, I'm going to read it and stick with it. And then every time I finish, you know, that book, we'll get to a new book. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of this, and I'll see you when the whole entire thing has been filled with all of the bowls. All right, here is my priority tree, or TBR tree, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure I'm going to have a hashtag calling it a TBR tree. But this is the method or system that I will be picking off an ornament from the tree. I don't know what book is in what bowl, and whatever one I pick, I'm going to go forward with reading that novel. And I'm excited because I'm going to commit to this. If I open it up, and whatever book it is, I'm just going to read that to completion. And unless I shouldn't say that. If I don't enjoy it, I will definitely DNF it. And yeah, so I'm really happy about this. I like how it came out, and maybe over time I will decorate it more. Maybe I will spray the ornaments with some metallic paint or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll spray the actual tree different color for the seasons and put the bowls back on. And so there's 5 more books that didn't make it because I ran out of these bowls. So I did order more, and as soon as they come, I'll put them on. And then if I have anything new, like I said, I'll just ask Peter to put it on. So I don't know where it is, but I don't think I remember even where I put it. Once I turn this, I kind of forget where it is. And so I'm really excited. Thanks for tuning in. What is on your main TBR list? And I mean like books that you've been wanting to read for a really long time that you want to commit to. What's on your list? And how do you organize them? Is it just on a piece of paper? Are they on your shelf? You know, because I could have easily just put all these books next to each other on one shelf, but as you know, I have them according to genre or themes or something. So how do you do that? And please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. And leave any comments you have about this video or any questions, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. All right, take care and enjoy the rest of the week and the weekend coming up. Bye-bye.